Welcome back to DK Sports Radio. You're listening to The Steelers Show. I'm Chris Carter here with Dale Lolley, and it is officially the end of football season. The Super Bowl is over.
The offseason has begun.
The offseason has begun, which means really there's no end to football season. It's just another part of it. The offseason is part of the season, man. But before we get into that, let's talk about our good friends at mybookie.ag, because their season never ends because they're covering all sports. If you're out there and you want to put some money down on basketball or hockey right now, because there's games every day in one of those sports, be sure to check out mybookie.ag. You can lay down money. You can bet on any team you want. They have several overs, unders. They have a great desktop website. They're also great on your phone for mobile. You can also bet on golf, NASCAR, and a few other sports as well. If you go to mybookie.ag, be sure to use that promo code DKRadio to get a 50% bonus on your deposit. For mybookie.ag, you play, you win, and you get paid. Now, Dale, you gave people some advice over the weekend to bet on the Super Bowl to get paid, and if they listened to you, they would have made some money, wouldn't they?
If they listened to me, they made a lot of money on my bookie because I had the Eagles winning outright.
Okay.
I'll take the point. I don't even need the points. I'll take it outright.
The points.
I'll take it outright. I had over the prop bet over 200.5 yard rushing. They went way over that.
Yeah.
And, of course, I had the Eagles winning the first quarter. The Eagles were getting a half point in the first quarter. Tom Brady, until he led them on a field goal drive, the Patriots on a field goal drive in the first quarter of the Super Bowl. That was the first points he had ever led the Patriots on in the first quarter of a Super Bowl. That was a gimme.
Yeah.
That was a gimme bet.
And see, here's the thing. I made the mistake in this bet. I bet that the Patriots wouldn't score flat out, and then I was like, "You're kidding me!" The one time, I didn't actually bet, but I bet with my old man. We bet a nickel earlier today. He had a snow day, so I went to hang out with him, and we bet a nickel that still some way Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp would find a way to say the Dallas Cowboys in their broadcast talking about LeBron, and they certainly did. So I got a nickel from my old man. So those bets I'm good at.
Are we talking a nickel? Or are we talking $500?
No. Like literally a nickel. We've been making these bets.
When you're talking gambling and you say a nickel,
whoa.
You're talking $500.
Chris Carter, that just to show you, Chris Carter does not get down in the gambling world unless it's the poker tables. But yeah, all that aside. Check out mybookie.ag. They got a lot of great stuff for you there. But let's get into talking. Dale, you were at the Super Bowl. Lots of stuff happened. I had my own, talk about the Super Bowl and my own respects about what happened. We both saw a lot of the similar things. We both talked about how the Eagles could take advantage of the Patriots. I picked the Patriots to win just because of all the mojo they've had going in their way this season. But the Eagles, they did the one thing the Jaguars didn't, and I said this needed to be, they kept the pedal to the metal.
Well, and they had a lot more offensive talent than Jacksonville.
That too. There's also that.
That helps. That's what people forget about that Patriots team is that for about, 50 minutes of that game against the Jaguars, they were losing.
Yeah.
The Jaguars were taking it to them in New England.
Yeah.
That's why one reason I picked Philadelphia. I thought that their pass rush would get after Brady a little bit, and while they only had one sack in that game, they affected him on a number of throws.
They hit him a lot, yeah.
Yeah, they hit him actually. Between the sacks and hurries and quarterback hits, there were 10 quarterback hits on him. And that's 20% of the time you're hitting Tom Brady. He's going to feel that.
Yeah.
And it really showed up, I thought, in a couple of the red zone trips. They hurried him and forced field goal attempts, which one of those New England botched.
Yeah, which is crazy.
There was the other one, they forced a bad fourth down throw. That was after the Brady failed to catch the pass down the sideline.
That was funny.
So I thought that they stood up at times when they needed to. And that was the difference in the game. I mean, when you start looking at it, because I thought the only mistakes that Philadelphia made as a coaching staff was perhaps chasing the points too early in the game, going for 2-point conversions. Outside of that, they really coached it was a very well coached game on Philadelphia's side.
Yeah, they kept the one thing that I always talk about with Bill Belichick is when you play him, he's going to try and take away your biggest asset. And for Philadelphia,
didn't do that.
Yeah, he definitely didn't do that because there was nothing that they took away defensively. But I thought coming into this game, the biggest asset that the Eagles could rely on is their ground game because they had the Garrett Blount, Jay Ajayi, and now they had the other guy,
Corey Clement.
Corey Clement. He went off. But you saw that against the Jaguars, they played against the run the entire game. And finally, when the Jaguars built a lead, they thought we could rely on the run, and that's what the Patriots were waiting for. The Eagles never gave them that chance because they kept running the run-pass option.
Yeah, and they were really it was really a nice job of mixing things up. They'd throw on first downs, run on second down. They had some situations. It was I think 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, where they popped a couple of runs on them.
Yeah,
and so they did a nice job of keeping the Patriots off balance. I talked to James Harrison after the game, and I said, did they really kind of confuse you guys a little bit in terms of
what did he say?
What they did with the run pass option stuff, and he said, we expected those kind of things. We just didn't execute real well. You can expect that. And you can work on it in practice, but working on it in practice is almost like facing Navy's option, where you the triple option where
you went way back.
Yeah, so you don't see that often enough at the pro level that it becomes something that you can mimic or work on during the week.
Yeah, because it deals with a lot of tendencies and forcing people to make split decisions in small moments of time, several split decisions.
Yeah. And it relies on the quarterback then to make those quick reads off of what he's seeing your defense do to adjust.
And that's something you can't simulate in practice because you can't brain Nick Foles' brain. Now the Patriots may find a way to do that someday, but that's that. But yeah, we're going to head to a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back talking a little bit more Super Bowl, but getting back focused on the Steelers.
It's time to cash in on non-stop sports action with MyBookie.ag. They have in-game live betting on nearly every sporting event, plus MyBookie.ag will match your deposit with a bonus up to 100%. With decades of expertise and no-hassle payouts, you'll experience the greatest customer service in the business, guaranteed. Use promo code DKRadio to activate your bonus of up to 100%. Call 844-900-BETS or visit mybookie.ag to open an account. Sign up today.
Miller Lite is the original light beer, and we'll always brew it to have more taste, with only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs. Because we believe that if you compromise on taste, you can taste the compromise. Miller Lite. Hold true.
Great beer, great responsibility. 2018 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Average analysis, 12 fluid ounces. Less than 1 gram protein, 0 grams fat.
What I want from my public accounting firm is big ideas.
But I don't want to lose the personal attention.
My company needs global capabilities.
From a firm with local ownership.
And I want to work with industry experts.
Who take the time to understand my unique challenges. And that's what sets Schneider Downs apart. Expertise for the most complex business issues, with the service you need every day. To learn how our big thinking with a personal focus can help your company, visit schneiderdowns.com.
If you're one of the thousands of Western Pennsylvanians who love to get outdoors, then you need to check out this amazing new website, stepoutside.org. Hi, I'm Dan Kovacevic of DK Sports Radio. I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh. I know about the outdoor life that's available to all of us in Western Pennsylvania. Learn where, when, and how you can go camping, hiking, hunting, take part in power sports, shooting sports, water sports in your local community, across our region, across the country at stepoutside.org.
Welcome back to DK Sports Radio. You're listening to The Steelers Show. And this Steelers Show is brought to you, as always, by Henny Jewelers.
Our good friends.
Our good friends on Walnut Street and Shady Side. Henny Jewelers, your jewelers for life. For life, Dale. For life. Now, Henny Jewelers, thank you for always sponsoring the show. But let's get into, we talked about a team who's about to get their rings. That's the Philadelphia Eagles and what they did right. Let's talk about a little bit more of the fallout, and then we'll switch into Steelers mode. Some of the talk that's been going on. What has been your take, Dale, on, one, Malcolm Butler and the whole he got benched and it was because he was on weed, and two, on Josh McDaniels now all of a sudden coming back to the Patriots out of nowhere?
Well, the whole Malcolm Butler thing, to me, first of all, he wasn't on the team flight.
And they reported that.
And they reported that. He said it was because he was ill and did not practice well in the week leading up to that. Everybody that I've talked to in the Boston media after that game and the next day, and on Monday, they're all saying that that's absolutely the case, that this was not a situation. And even Malcolm Butler has come out and said, look, this did not happen. I wasn't at any concert.
No.
I didn't miss curfew. If he tested positive for marijuana or anything like that, you wouldn't have him active.
Right, exactly.
He's not going to be active.
Yeah, you'd put someone else out.
So
if this is discipline.
Yeah, so I see this as a situation where, when the Steelers, and I've seen, this is the other thing, I've seen people say, well, the Steelers, they never do stuff like that.
Yeah, first of all.
Yeah, they do. They have done it.
Mike Tomlin, I mean,
yeah.
that's something they said was a huge change.
Yeah. He suspended Martavis Bryant for a game this year.
He suspended Santonio Holmes and Rashard Mendenhall when they were getting in trouble, and they were his top players at one point.
And once again, I'll say this again, James Harrison, we don't know that he wasn't suspended for some of the incidents.
Just unofficially.
They just don't announce everything all the time when they do suspend the guy for stuff like that. Eli Rogers, for example, has been sat down over the years
several times
for missing meetings or those kind of things, or being late to meetings.
Yeah.
And they don't announce it. They don't make
do it.
They just do it. Yeah. You kind of have to find out after the fact, because Mike Tomlin likes to keep that stuff behind closed doors. Obviously, with the Super Bowl, it's kind of difficult when you got a guy who played 98% of the snaps on your defense, and he doesn't play.
Yeah.
It's going to bring up questions. It's going to raise questions. I think again, if it was an issue, if there was something like that happened, and he dressed him but didn't play him, that to me, the whole thing just sounds silly. If this was a coaching decision, it was a bad decision.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously, they couldn't cover me in the secondary the way things were going there. Although I'll tell you what, where I was sitting at in the stadium, and what I could see, I had an end zone view where the auxiliary press box was, and I could see things opening up. And some of the throws that Nick Foles was making were perfect.
Yeah, he was on the money.
Yeah, he was on the money with stuff, zipping the ball in there, good coverage or not.
Yeah.
So
I thought Stephon Gilmore, especially in these playoffs, earned his contract. Early in the season, I was saying, why'd they pay this guy this much? But against the Jaguars, he had that huge swat that ended the game. And I thought, despite Alshon Jeffrey, making some big plays in this game, he did a really good job sticking with him and at least keeping him in check.
Yeah, the touchdown on Alshon Jeffrey caught was because Alshon Jeffrey is 6'3". Yeah, he just outsized him on that play.
Right.
So in terms of the Josh McDaniels stuff, this is nothing new for that coaching tree. And by that coaching tree, I mean the Parcells,
Belichick.
Yeah.
But I mean, a coach has accepted a job and then immediately after something big like losing the Super Bowl, then said, "Oh, I'm not accepting that job."
Here's the problem that I have with it. Okay, you don't want to take the job. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's a decision for you and your family. Whatever you think you have to do. He had reached out already to assistant coaches
about their
who had left jobs to take jobs with Indianapolis because they thought he was going to be the head coach. Now those guys and their families are without a job because of his decision. That's something that you can't do. He will never ever get another sniff of a head coaching position outside of the New England. It just won't happen.
No, I wouldn't give him a look for nothing after that. I mean, you can. It's like the reverse of what Tennessee has been doing in college football. As far as he's the person pulling back on it. I'm just like, why would I even give you a chance?
Yeah. And here's the problem that Indianapolis now has is that their fallback option was Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Their second guy that they wanted was Mike Vrabel. Well, now he's off the market. Oh, by the way, to Tennessee, which is in your division.
Their rival,
Yeah, it's a rival in your division. You wanted to take him away from Houston, who's also in your division. Now you're stuck scrambling for a head coach, not only just a head coach, but assistant coaches.
And that's the thing. They're going to have to develop a whole new system, and you think you have it and you're put in place, but man – so someone floated the idea of this being a get back for Deflategate.
They made trades between the two organizations. I think that's it's a new GM there. I don't see that being. I don't see that. That's too CIA stuff there for me. I just think he made it. He sat down with Robert Kraft after everything settled, and they talked about it and said, "Look, we'd like you to stay. We're going to give you some more money. Maybe we're going to pay you like you're the assistant head coach, and you're going to be our coach in waiting."
Gotcha. Well, the Steelers have made some slight coaching changes. Well, I guess it wasn't the Steelers that made the change. Carnell Lake resigned, so that's another topic to deal with that we will be dealing with it in this upcoming segment right after these messages.
In Pittsburgh, we bleed black and gold and love our city. Born in Pittsburgh and now celebrating 130 years in business, Henny Jewelers is proud to be your premier jewelry store. Whether it's choosing that watch you've always wanted or you're searching for the ring that was made for her, trust Henny Jewelers. Visit our store on Walnut Street in Shadyside to see our extensive inventory of designer engagement rings, watches, and one-of-a-kind jewelry. For more, go to hennyjewelers.com and follow on social.
Embarrassed by that stained carpet in your office? Tired of looking at your dull, dirty floor? My Floor Needs is here to fix that. With years of experience and 24/7 service, My Floor Needs offers stripping and waxing, carpet, tile, grout, and concrete cleaning, as well as polishing and buffing services. Call 888-67-MY-FLOOR or email info@myfloorneeds.com for a free estimate and get your floors looking like new again. Whatever your floor needs, call 888-67-MY-FLOOR.
Does your company ever miss its sales goals or struggle getting new business?
Is it tough to hire or to give reps the right tools?
Hi, I'm Dan, and I started Engaged Prospect right here in Pittsburgh to help companies like yours.
And I'm Sam. We're helping companies hit sales goals and grow their businesses.
Think of us as your inside sales team.
Our clients are experts in their fields. We're experts in inside sales.
Give us a call today at 412-715-5151.
Or visit us online at engagedprospect.com/DK.
It's been 50 years since the Summer of Love, but if you're not performing as well as you'd like, check out NEDforless.com. I'm Eric Cushy of Curtis Pharmacy. Don't pay premium prices for the little blue pill. So Denafil, the same active ingredient as in Viagra, costs 80% less. NEDforless.com. All we need is your physician's name. We do the rest. Free shipping, too. NDDforless.com. Curtis Pharmacy, Western PA's Better Way Pharmacy. CurtisPharmacy.com.
Welcome back to DK Sports Radio. You're listening to The Steelers Show. I'm Chris Carter here with Dale Lolley. And we got to give a quick thanks to our friends at mybookie.ag before we get started. But we're going to talk. Dale, you were at the Art Rooney press conference this week. You got to listen to Art II talk about Mike Tomlin and how he's in favor of him and what he's been doing. But also, about a few other things, including Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, the Steelers obviously would like to re-sign Le'Veon Bell. He's their only starter who has a potential to be a free agent this year. Now the question is going to be, are they going to have the cap space to do so? I think they can create that if they need to. They've been very creative over the years in finding ways to do that. And it comes down to, can they come to an agreement on a contract that is agreeable to both sides? And I think, as I've been saying all along with Le'Veon Bell's situation, it's going to come down to the guaranteed money.
Right.
Because these guys, everybody looked at that contract last year where they offered him 5 years and $60 million. I can't believe he didn't take that. Mm-hmm. That's more than any other running back. It's the guaranteed money. It's all about the guaranteed money. You can say, we're going to pay you $60 million over 5 years, but if only, let's say, $10 million of that is guaranteed, that's all you got. If they cut you after the second year,
you're done.
You're done. You're not getting anything more out of that. So it comes down to the guaranteed money. If you look at the deal that Devontae Freeman signed, he's now now that Le'Veon Bell's no longer under contract, he would be the highest paid. It was $40.5 million over 5 years, so just a little bit over $8 million a year. That put him just ahead of LaShawn McCoy. But he got, I believe, $19 million guaranteed with his deal. So, I think if you're Le'Veon Bell and you're guaranteed right now $14.5 million to play this year if they've put the franchise tag on you, much like last year, you were guaranteed $12.5 million when they put the franchise tag on you. If I'm his agent and I'm saying, okay, you're guaranteeing me if I don't do anything here, I'm going to be guaranteed $27 million over the next 2 seasons.
Right.
That would be what I would be looking for in guaranteed money.
Yeah.
That's just, I think that to me that's a starting point.
Yeah, I think the the place where I go in my head when I look at these contracts and I say, yeah, there's that money, but there's also he wants to be able to keep making money over time and to continue to build his legacy in the league. And when he has that guaranteed money, that not only gives you the security, but then it also kind of puts the team in a situation where, like, well, do we want to get rid of this guy? Like, say he does drop off from Le'Veon Bell type production and he becomes more of like a Devontae Freeman, who is a good running back, but isn't the dynamic player that Le'Veon Bell is. And then you're in a situation where if they have guaranteed money in you, they kind of have to keep you around, and that'll give you time to continue to build on it. I think I agree with you though. If I'm taking the franchise tag with as much as is coming with it, especially this time around, I don't think it's a loss for Le'Veon Bell. I think that is still a win for him. Now, the win, of course, what he's looking for is he's looking for around the same amount of guaranteed money,
and he wants a long-term security.
Right. He wants to make sure for the next 4 or 5 years he's being paid.
Yeah, and for a guy who's still 25 years old, doesn't turn 26 for a couple more months here, that's something that you definitely want to look at. This is his prime money-making.
This is the contract.
Yeah, this is the contract that is going to set him up for the rest of his life. And for a guy who carries the ball, 20 to 25 times every game, or touches the ball, 25 to 30 times a game, he's the difference maker.
Yeah.
People have said, asked me, well, why don't they just sign Dion Lewis and go with that? This is the first time in Dion Lewis's 5-year career that he has come anywhere close to playing a full season.
Yeah.
The first time. And it's not little injuries, it's major injuries, and he's not getting anywhere near the touches that Le'Veon Bell's getting.
And even if he wasn't getting hurt, he's still not the dynamic player.
He's still not Le'Veon Bell.
Do it. I mean, Le'Veon Bell, that wheel route catch in the playoff game over Telvin Smith, goodness. I mean, there's just so many things that he does right. Yes, and they were like, he doesn't have home run speed. I'm like, well, guess what? He has everything else.
All that being said, would I pay Le'Veon Bell $15 million a year? I wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think with the way, especially the way that things go in the NFL.
Yeah,
he's turning 26.
Yeah. Now, I think given the Steelers' salary cap situation right now, the way it stands, they're 2.7 under the projected cap. They got $4 million in carryover from this year, so now you're 6.7. You're still gonna have to make some tough decisions. Maybe just some simple restructures get you to that number, but then that takes all your wiggle room away. You're going to have restricted free agents that you have to sign.
Yeah.
You have a draft class that you have to sign. And then, oh, by the way, you got to try to figure out, maybe you don't go out and sign a couple of free agents, but maybe you go out and say, okay, we're going to go get a new free safety, or we're going to get a new inside linebacker, or whatever it may be. And I'm going to write a little bit more about that later this week. But, I think it kind of, if you spend all that money on Le'Veon Bell, can you still do some of the other things that you need to do to make this team better in 2018?
That's the big question. I think, like you said, there's things they can do. Like they can restructure Vance McDonald's deal. They could, because he was getting paid a lot from the 49ers. They took a lot of the guaranteed money away, but still he's hitting a chunk. I think Mike Mitchell's another person that they
and there's also things that they can do, such as just simple salary restructures. Antonio Brown's contract is fresh. Stephon Tuitt's contract is fresh. You turn some of that salary for next year into signing bonus, and you spread the money out over the length of the contract. They've done that time and again.
Yeah.
People think that the player is giving something up there. No, they're getting a big paycheck.
Yes,
if somebody comes to you, if they came to you and say, Chris, you're going to make $50,000 over the course of this year, but we're going to give 40 of it to you now.
Okay. I'll take that.
That's basically what they're doing with these guys.
And it makes sense. But it's just that right now they're trying to find different ways. Kevin Colbert, he's been good at this in the past as far as extending players to keep others and keep signing talent. I think the biggest thing is that they need to address the linebacker situation with Shazier. They need to address free safety, like you said. I think they need to get another in-the-middle defensive lineman, and they need to keep this team fresh because they have a lot of young talent on defense. But with Ben Roethlisberger, in like his last few years, and again, I said for a while I didn't think this man was close to retiring yet. I mean, maybe it'll happen in 2 years or 3 years, but I thought that he had at least another 2 years in him before this season started. So I think moving forward, if we're talking about what the Steelers are doing contract-wise, look for them to continue to restructure, to build that space specifically to help Ben Roethlisberger, and I think it would be best if Ben Roethlisberger is the guy that's going to help them do it.
Yeah, I think one way to do that as well is to extend Roethlisberger.
Right.
As I reported at the end of the season, they're interested in getting him an extra 2 years at least. That also helps lower his cap hit for this year. It's $23.2 million. That's a lot of
dollars.
It's a lot of money, but that's when you have a franchise quarterback,
you
got to pay them, and so that that's the going rate around the league when you look at it. I mean, Derek Carr's getting $25 million a year.
Boy, what's Joe Flacco making?
Yeah, so the Steelers are going to have to figure that out, figure out a way to kind of lower that cap hit for this upcoming season to maybe create some extra space as well.
I agree. We'll be covering more of that as the year goes on, but you've been listening to the Steelers Show, and Dale's back. I had to do it a little bit solo for a little while. It's not as fun without a partner here in crime. But yeah, thanks for listening to the Steelers Show. We got a lot of great stuff coming for you on DKPittsburghSports.com. Be sure to keep following us. Dale's going to have his roundup of the year. I got some Carter's Classroom coming your way, both on the Super Bowl, and Dale and I are going to be working together to recap the year, how the Steelers did, what they should be looking for, and we'll have a lot of stuff getting you ready for the NFL draft. Dale, glad to have you back.
Good to be back.
Everybody, you have a great weekend.